Joining me now to discuss is Tom Dupree, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General under President George W. Bush. Tom, great to see you. Just your overall take of what you saw today.
Well, Dagan, the day of closing arguments is always a momentous one. This is the chance for the prosecution to put forward its facts and really wrap everything up in a bow for the jury. It's also the chance for the defense counsel to make its closing argument, to do its best to explain how the facts justified self-defense in this case and really help the jury see this case and what happened that night in Kenosha through the eyes of Kyle Rittenhouse. I thought the defense so far in this case has done a very effective job of helping the jury understand what Kyle Rittenhouse was seeing that night. And of course, we'll find out tomorrow or soon thereafter what the jury makes of all of it.
There were the gun charge. It was the lesser of all the charges. It was a misdemeanor gun charge that the judge dropped because it wasn't illegal. We were talking about a long gun. It was not illegal for Kyle Rittenhouse to be carrying a long gun. But the fact that the prosecution brought that charge in the first place, Andy McCarthy had said this gun charge was part of the prosecution's effort to argue that Rittenhouse provoked the whole thing and therefore waived his right of self-defense. They wanted to argue that his possession of a rifle by being illegal was itself a provocation that caused all this mayhem that followed, and he somehow forfeited any right to defend himself. Well, that charge is gone, and the jury will not make a decision about it. So do the jurors understand the gravity of that in the charging, the explanation of the charges by the judge?
Well, I'm not sure the jury will understand the gravity, but I can tell you this is a very significant development, Dagan, for a few reasons. One is I think it was an unforced error by the prosecution to have brought that charge in the first place, because the facts of this case just don't fit that crime. The second reason this is so significant is because it takes the opportunity of a compromise verdict off the table. Prosecutors often include a lesser charge, such as this weapons charge, on the verdict form to give a jury that might be split over convicting on the more serious charges a chance to render a conviction on a lesser charge. Again, a compromise. That's now off the table. So the jury is going to be presented with a binary choice: convict Mr. Rittenhouse of these very serious crimes or let him walk free.
I was kind of surprised that the defense didn't object more during the prosecution's closing, because the prosecutor was saying certain things, talking about how Rittenhouse didn't belong on the street, that he violated a curfew. Well, he's not charged with that.
Yeah, I thought that the prosecutor got away with kind of, going right up to the line, maybe over it in a few instances. I think sometimes defense counsel makes a strategic judgment that no harm, no foul. Let the prosecutors say what they want. They don't want to get crosswise with the jury by disrupting or obstructing closing argument. So sometimes you'll see defense counsels make a strategic judgment that it's better just to let the prosecutors say what they're going to say and then save their real firepower for their own closing argument.
Are you surprised that the jury is not being sequestered? Is that problematic, not being sequestered, particularly during the deliberations once they start deliberating?
It's a bit of a concern, just given all the press attention and the media spotlight that's on this case, because obviously the last thing in the world you'd want is the jurors somehow getting influenced by outside voices, things that weren't in the record. They hear information that wasn't presented to them at the trial. That's always a risk in a high-profile case like this. At the same time, the trial judge is in the best position to make these calls. He knows the community, he knows the jurors, he knows the likelihood that the jury might get tainted, and that was the decision he made here.
It was clear watching the cross-examination of Kyle Rittenhouse by the prosecution. It did feel like he was trying to tank it and get a mistrial because the prosecution itself had gone so badly. He was asking Kyle Rittenhouse things that he was admonished loudly by the judge, essentially bringing up the fact that Kyle Rittenhouse had chosen silence, which is his right.
Yeah, Dagan, I had a very similar reaction. I saw some of those questions, heard some of those questions, and I thought, my goodness, I mean, it's prosecutor 101 that you can't ask things like this.
Right.
And this is a veteran prosecutor. This is not his first rodeo. I think he did know better. And so to your point, what could his motive have been in asking these questions, which were so clearly impermissible?
Yeah, a mistrial. I think, rather than getting a not guilty verdict, but we'll have to wait for that verdict. Meantime, the closing by the defense continues. Tom Dupree, thank you so much for being here.